So fucking furious yesterday that I wanted to give myself time to calm down enough to articulate my thoughts. I will not be tolerating shit in the comments. This is not a discussion. There is no gray area with regards to human rights. And although I've given myself a day to collect my thoughts, I am just as enraged, furious, and disgusted today as I was yesterday. What I am not, however, is shocked. The impending signs of this were clear. The banning of books, the state-led attacks on reproductive rights, on the trans community, on protective social services, on the disabled, the never-ending assault on BIPOC communities. I mean, the list goes on and on. This is not something that just happened with the pandemic or with recent economic or political shifts. This is years, decades, an entire nation's history of concerted efforts by a certain segment to preserve power by stripping others of theirs. What is happening now, though, is that people who have long been protected from the everyday realities of systemic oppression, either racially or economically, are now being directly affected and are now recognizing what BIPOC and marginalized communities and activists have been screaming about forever, which is that all manners and systems of oppression intersect, and we must learn how to address them through that framework. Horrific enough as it is, this is not just about a woman's right to choose. It is about this country's continual injection of religious morality into governance, decimating any supposed illusion of separation between church and state. It is about the fact that we are the only industrialized country in the world that still does not have guaranteed paid parental leave or health care. That women's medical care, shitty enough as it is due to poor education, misogyny, and bigotry, will likely worsen as women who have miscarriages or other health issues may now be subject to greater suspicion and questioning and face further obstacles to treatment. That the basis for this is of a 1787 document that solely represents the interests of the rich white men it was written by and does not reflect the complex nuanced realities of our current society and its well-being. That this opens the door to possible ramifications on other rulings regarding reproductive rights and the right to privacy. That as terrified women take greater precautions in when and with whom they decide to sleep with, there may be a rise in violence against them. That in a racist, bigoted, patriarchal society in which women still do not have full equality, despite all those who fought, marched, and died to finally get us here, we are now faced with the devastating reality that girls may now have fewer rights than we did. Until we get to the point where bodily autonomy is guaranteed and access to care and preservation of health is easily and equally available to anyone who wants it, this country has no right to claim that it values life. Violence, and make no mistake, this overturn is an act of violence against women, people with uteruses, and consequently against every vulnerable, marginalized, and economically disenfranchised community. Violence through bodies and obstruction has always been the means through which systems of human injustice have been perpetuated. The history of this country reflects an unmistakable pattern of choosing oppression over education, disempowerment and subjugation over empowerment and the individual freedom it embarrassingly touts.